Hi Pisces. Happy New Year and happy January. All right. The lighting is terrible, so I'm sorry about that. But I put a candle here. So if anything, if I hold up the card, you can at least see the card. Ooh. Given to me by my Pisces friend, who's probably watching this. Hello again. All right. I don't know why, but my throat chakra is getting all scratchy again. You and someone else. I forgot what sign, but before I started the camera, I was fine, but as soon as I pressed start, it got all blocked. Excuse me. It's so funny. All the readings always get very similar cards. It's always the same cards that pop up. So I think it doesn't matter what sign it was. All right. So let's talk about everything that's in Capricorn right now. We have the sun. We just had the solar eclipse there. We have Mercury and some big power players like Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. And for everyone, it's a restructuring of our physical world and our environment and our money and how we view money. But for you guys specifically, Capricorn rules your 11th house. So that is the house of community and groups that you belong to. So it could be clubs, it could be memberships, organizations, nonprofits, teams, even your coworkers. But I feel like these are groups that you are more socially and morally connected to, more so than environmentally. But they can be environmental, if that makes sense. Like your coworkers, you don't align with your coworkers because y'all are morally because y'all are morally compatible. It's just because y'all are there to work, so that's why you're there. So the 11th house is more groups that you choose to be a part of, not because you have to be a part of them, if that makes sense. So a big shift in your environment in that kind of capacity. I don't think your job necessarily is affected. I really do think this is more so the people that you choose to share your energy with, like the friends and the groups of people that you spend time around. Maybe you guys are starting to feel kind of drained. Like you can't handle all of not that you can't handle it, I don't want to say it like that, but it's just become a lot. You've been doing a lot of emotional labor because you guys have a lot of friends, but all in all, you guys are introverts because you need to be alone and have your solitude in order to feel whole. But I feel like for a while you haven't really been juggling that very well. You have the Death card in reverse and the King of Cups. So Scorpio energy, but definitely Pisces energy as well, since this is your reading. But this talks about emotional blockages and also not being over emotional, but you would end up overcompensating for that emotional loss here later by how other people might deem as either emotionally manipulative or maybe overbearing. I'm not trying to be rude or mean, but it's just how it's expressing itself. So balancing your emotions is how you don't underspeak your truth while overstepping boundaries with other people because you didn't know how to ask for what you want. Again, not asking for what you want, not asking for anything at all. And this also, to me, looks like the two fish. It's the Two of Swords, but it's also talking about the two fish of you guys. So it's the part of you that wants to keep the balance, keep the peace. Pisces don't like to rock the boat. They like still, calm waters. You see that behind her? You like still, calm waters, and you don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, it's become to be at your detriment. So, oh my gosh, excuse me. Anyway, so it's become to be at your detriment, and at what point is it worth keeping the peace if your peace of mind is not incorporated in that equation? At the center of your reading, you have the Seven of Wands. So this is the feeling of obligation of having to always fight for the right thing or do the right thing. And sometimes you can become very stubborn in that belief, because at the end of the day, you guys really are good people and you want to do what's best for everyone and help everyone. But at the same time, sometimes you guys can end up feeling like you are giving more than you are receiving. But again, I don't think this is necessarily because people are taking from you or intentionally not giving back to you. I think it's, again, because you are spreading yourself thin and you are involved in a lot of different groups and a lot of different things. So it's come to a point now where you're going to have to drop some of these people or some of these groups, not out of maliciousness or anything, but just because you as a person only have so much for, like, your emotional capacity only stretches so far. So instead of fighting for what's right, do what's best for you. The Emperor talks about the first house, Aries energy. People can talk about, it being selfish or self-centered, but the Emperor always knows what he wants and what he needs, and he goes after it to ensure the best result for him. Depending where he falls on the spectrum of maturity, he can either do this at the expense of other people or not. So this doesn't say that you have to be malicious, but if you don't really speak up for what you want, you are going to end up emotionally draining someone else because you couldn't be selfish in that one moment and say, hey, I need this, or hey, I don't want to do this. And so you take it from somewhere else subconsciously, because again, I'm not trying to say you guys are malicious or manipulative, but it comes off that way because you refuse to speak your truth. So the Emperor is all about speaking his truth and being like, hey, this is what I want. So if you have Aries in you, if you have Aries people around you or no Aries people, you can look up Aries celebrities. Just really channel this Aries energy of now not just standing up for what you think is right, but standing up for yourself and drawing those boundaries. And drawing boundaries means dropping some people and some places and things sometimes. And that's okay. The Four of Pentacles. So I understand you guys are feeling like you don't want to let go of certain things for certain people because you feel bad or guilty. But again, you need to do this for your health. At the end of your reading, you have the Lovers. So this is a restoration of balance and peace. You can finally understand how to give and receive and not take, but ask for what you need and do it in a balanced manner. So Gemini energy, it's not Aquarius energy, like it's not 11th house energy, but it still talks about friendship and social groups. So because this is upright at the end of your reading, it does mean that you do overcome this feeling of guilt and this feeling of I need to do everything for everyone all the time. And you do get to a place where you can feel balanced and at peace again because you are able to let go of the load, especially the ones that are not your responsibility. All right, Pisces. So, yeah. Usually when things are active in the 11th house, it means there's a lot of activity with your groups and your organizations. But for you guys, I'm really seeing it as you need to drop some of those things because it's getting to a point where your energy is being spread too thin and it's not benefiting anyone, and it's especially not benefiting you. So instead of growing your social groups, you need to tighten your social groups a little bit more. Okay? All right, Pisces, have a wonderful January. I will see you next month. Bye.